Alright, great. So after you have rotated and adjusted the artwork going in the same direction of whatever body part you're working on, then we can right-click on this layer and select Rasterize Layer. Now, of course, if you're using Photoshop CS or earlier, you won't need to do this step, but I'm just going to come in here and rasterize that. And then let's come up here to Filter and select Liquify. Go right into the Liquify command. This is a very big filter here, so what I will do is just resize this down so we can see it on the screen. Alright, so I can hold down the space bar on the keyboard and that will give me the hand tool inside the Liquify command, or the Liquify filter, sorry. And then I will just move around here. And so let's look what's happening here. We have some of the tattoo sticking out here on the right, and it just doesn't look very realistic. We need to adjust and distort this tattoo to fit the body part that we are working on. So what I'm going to do first is, right here where it says backdrop, we can select what we would like to see underneath that tattoo while we distort it. So I'm going to select background, since the background is the stock image here. And that will allow me to just see the vector art and the woman, and that way I can morph that vector art to the back there. Alright, so what I'm going to do is just zoom in just a little bit closer, but not too close. And let's select the very first tool here, which is the Forward Warp tool. And I'm going to make this brush just a little bit larger. And you can see we have this, it looks like it's starting here at the bottom, and then the vector art is just coming up. But it doesn't look very realistic over here. It looks like it's not on her back. It's sort of coming off the back there. So what we're going to do is use this warp tool and push in to make it look like it's really on her back in the right spot. And just take your time. You can come through here and, you can see the bottom here. What I can do is move this around, this point here, you can see, because it's starting to, her back is just pivoting right here. So what I can do is turn that brush up, and I can move this around if I want to, and just give it a little bend there at the bottom. And you can see I'm just coming in here and adjusting this artwork to her back. And you can see now it's sort of, let me get the hand tool here, you can see how the artwork is sort of going up, but really though, it looks like to me that this center is going up like this. You see that? So what we're going to do is grab that warp tool, and when you move things around, make sure you move other things or other parts of the artwork with those parts. Look at that. And I'll move these out of the way a little bit. And now we can see it looks like it's going more at a diagonal direction there. And I will zoom out. Looks good. The bottom looks pretty good. Have to imagine that bottom center point of her back there, which is sort of, it can be a little bit hard to tell sometimes. And because she's sort of leaning a little bit, it looks like the artwork would be probably higher on this end than it would on this end. So that in that case we can lower this down a little bit. And every little thing we do here is going to make it look more realistic. You can see it looks like this curl over here on this side, it's basically identical. It's just a mirror image tattoo, so it's the same on both sides. But we can look at this part of her back over on this side, and then look at this part, and we can see that exactly where that artwork is, and then match it. Now when it comes to spots like this, there's a couple ways. We can erase areas in artwork that hang over or are going outside of the body. We can erase those, but what we can also do is lower the brush size a little bit. And you'll need to lower the brush size small enough so you can just tuck in the very edge. This doesn't always look great, but you know, sometimes you can get away with it. But if you have a lot of artwork hanging over, then it might be a good idea just to use the eraser tool, and I'll be showing you how to do that later on. But there you go, it just kind of looks like it's going around the corner there. Now when we come down here, well, let's take a look at, see what's happening here. This is just wrapping up her back, but over here it's just going crazy. It's like off to the side. So we will need to increase the size of the brush, and we want to push this up. So it's going up and around her back there. So you have to be careful not to touch any of this over here. And I can come back to that, but I can just lower the brush, and if it's not visible, it's okay. I mean, if it's going around a corner or something, I mean, you're not in real life, you probably wouldn't be able to see it anyway. So get a little bit tricky though. I'm going to zoom out here before I go any further, because that's going to help me get a better idea here. There we go. Again, I can see a little better what's happening now. But so far it looks like it's, this middle part here looks really good. I like it. But I'm just going to push this. That way it doesn't look like it's going off the back. It looks like to me I'm going to probably have to bring all this in a little bit, or it's just not going to look right. There we go. I don't want to ruin the artwork too much. Even though we're going around the side here, we still want to, you know, retain the shape of the art as best we can. And this is a pretty tight curve here. Normally I don't have these really intricate areas to work with. Usually, you know, you put a tattoo on somebody's arm or their belly button or whatever, you know. But this can be a little bit tricky here. There we go. All right. Well, as soon as you have it like you like it, then go ahead and click OK, and Photoshop will apply that liquify filter to that layer. Look at that. Okay, great. And we can see that this is what it was before, right here, and this is after liquify.